Oh, wow. This is the Prester John investigation installment number 57, my naga. Can you dig it? Oh boy, we come a mighty long way in a short period of time. Only about 4 or 5 years, man. We've been surfing this wave and this investigation, digging on Terra Sancta, Holy Land, Antarctica, my naga. Digging on Tibet in North America, my naga. Oh, don't mind us. We just surfing away. We just surfing away. So over here in the Prester John investigation, we know that we rock with Hosea 3 and 5. We know that we seek Hawa and King David, and this is what allows us to tie these land masses together, chronology together, to tie in the Khan dynasty, the Genghis Khans, the Batu Khans, the Kublai Khans, the Jins, the Kins, the Canes, the Khans, the Hindu Kush, and the Abyssinias and the Ethiopias. Yeah, you've been surfing the wave with me. I've been surfing the wave with you. And it's led us to Terra Sancta, mana. Or Antarctica. Cannonbolus. Oh, man. Martinia. Is this that Amazon island Columbus was talking about? See, Terra Sancta means holy land, mana. This ain't no play. Terra Sancta means holy land, mana. We just surfing away. So that got us really putting things together, man. I mean, we're searching for Prester John. We're dodging the hijacks in between the timelines. We're finding holy land in Antarctica. We're finding Antarctica with no ice cap, right? So look out for Map Pack 2. And even, hey, man, love to the tribe. This is a glorious time, man. This is a victory lap. It's a victory lap, man. Holy land. Yeah. They're taking Terra Sancta pilgrimages, my naga, in so-called Jerusalem today. It's all about JC now, right? Terra Sancta. And then we found the Terra Sancta in San Diego, in Colombia, Brazil. There's all these holy lands, man. And then we said, whoa, you talking about Santa? North Pole, the poles, right? Land, Santa? Or we talking Zancta? Either way, we talking holy land. And we talking holy land in so-called Antarctica, mana. Looks pretty well mapped out to me in the 1500s. This is the Royce map. So dig on it. I mean, if you got map pack 1, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. So what's up with this holy land in Antarctica, man? It got us to the high Amazon Queens, different ways we've been so far in this investigation. We've been searching. I mean, you got to at least give us credit. We've been searching like they've been searching. What are we searching for? What are you searching for, Managa? You're searching for the real thing, man. I mean, they're taking pilgrimages, right? You're searching for the real thing, man. Oh, wow. We can't stop seeking Hawaii. We can't stop, Managa. Because Hosea the prophet, or Joshua the prophet, Ben told you that even though you fell off, man, I mean, we are compared to the woman, the adulterous woman. Hawa said unto me, go yet love a woman beloved of her friend and an adulteress, even as Hawa loves the children of Israel. So Israel is the adulterous woman. Why are you in this position, my Naga, my Negro, my African American, my black man, my black woman, my copper color con? Why is Israel here compared to the adulterous woman? And why are we here? The tail and not the head, Deuteronomy 28. Though they turn unto other gods. Jesus, love cakes of raisin, cakes of raisins. So I bought her to me for 15 pieces of silver and a homer of barley and a half homer of barley. And I said unto her, thou shalt sit solitary for many days, my nugget. We have been solitary many days without what? Thou shalt not play the harlot, man. No more adulteress, no more other gods. Hijack free. And you shall not be any man's wife, nor will I be thine. For the children of Israel shall sit solitary how many days? Many days, my God. Without King David, without a king, without a prince. We don't know what we're talking about. Khan, royalty, regal, Negro, huh? Israel, Hebrew. What does it mean to be a prince of Hawaii? What does it mean to have an anointed Khan? We didn't say king. We don't speak English, my noggin. What does it mean to have a Khan? But you're going to sit many days because of these other gods. Because of breaking rule number 1. Israel is the adulterous woman. So therefore we have sat solitary many days. Solitary many days without our Khan. No prince, no Khan. No sacrifice. We've been the sacrifice. Hawaii doesn't require sacrifice outside of what we have been as a nation, Manan. You have paid for your other gods with your sacrifice, not the holy sacrifice that you would give, but your own bodies, our own children, our own mothers, grandmothers, sisters, and brothers. That's the sacrifice. That's the crucifixion. Without pillar, without ephod, without teraphim. Afterwards shall the children of Israel return. And the first thing you do is reunite with your framer, your shaper, your Amma, your Abba. They call Lord. We call Hawa. You return to your power. And at that point, you are activated to seek David, the Khan. David, whom I will raise up again for you. Jeremiah 30. One shepherd, one shepherd. Ezekiel 37, Ezekiel 34. Kandawi. This is our Prester John investigation, because after we became hijack free, put away our gods, and we only looked and checked for Hawa, that's it, we were activated to start our Prester John investigation. And here we are in installment number 57, Manak. Then shall we come trembling unto Hawa and his goodness in the end of days. Everything we're going to be getting on right now, we're going to talk about the Kefar a little more, Al-Tarak. There's a lot of mystery around the Kofar Al-Tarak. We're going to, dig on a little bit about how Moses became king of Cush. We're going to follow the path of the staff. We're going to dig on the Green King. Definitely take a deep dive in the Sambatyon River. Compare that with the, journey of Shem, his son Aram, and his son Meshach, Masak. Because we've been digging on this Meshach character, this Japheth Meshach. And are we overlooking the fact that Meshach is also the son of Aram, son of Shem? So there's two Meshachs, my nigga. But let's go ahead and fall back as we see clearly that we've gone a long time. We've sat solitary many days. But that day is over, my nigga, because you are now returning. Israel is returning. Israel is popping off. We have connected to our Hawa. And here we are, searching for the priest king. End of days. Let's talk apocalypse, man. Let's fall back, man. Let's fall back, man. Hey, out to everyone who's participated in the tribe up forums. Once you fill them out, you got this response. You got a Shabata survey. If you have not received this survey, and this is for us to have a good time, man. We should be having fun right now, man. We should be having fun, man. And we definitely want to tribe up with you. And this is a way for us to kind of see where you at, man. See what energy you bring in. And definitely reward our balcony surfers, man. We got family that's been surfing the wave, man, since the top. So this is a way for you to show off what you know, man. Because you've been surfing the wave since the balcony. So my balcony surfers are going to breeze through this thing in 2.5 seconds, man. But, definitely, take your time and meditate on it, man. And, fill out the tribe up forms, all right? Then you're going to get the survey 1, and then you're going to get a survey 2. It's going to get a little more personal for me and you, because we want to know who we're tribing up with, man. And we're going to get your location, everything. you know what I'm saying, locked so we know where the tribe is all throughout, all across the plain. So this is the first attempt that I know of. This is the first attempt that we know of to be able to keep track of all the code keepers in our own database and our own flow all across the plain. So this is a big step for us, man. Ahab to Aqua Renana, get at her directly. You know what I'm saying? Once you receive the survey, first fill out the tribe up form. Click the link below. Click the link below. And then you're going to get the survey. And you reply all your answers here, all your answers. Go directly to Renana at 432thedrop.com. And love to sister Abia, Aqua Tai Bazan. From there, you'll get a response from one of those three sisters, man, who's holding it down, making sure we got the record, Ahab to the record keepers, man, because we keeping the code and we keeping the record to know where you at, so we can, develop our tough cities, our safe cities, my naga. Let's pop off, man. I mean, y'all know the answers. We've been getting some interesting answers, man. Tell us the difference between Jesus, Yahweh, and Zeus. Some people be like, Jesus is Zeus, but Yahweh is God. I mean, they go crazy on this one, man. So we getting some crazy ones, but this again lets us know where you at. And it ain't about answering the right things and all that. It's just like, where's your vibration at? You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. You could be brand new to surfing the wave. We get that. Even still, your vibration still will shine through, you know what I'm saying, these questions here, man. And who is Prester John? We're just surfing the wave. Yeah, man, we got some good ones. This is my favorite one right here. If I count the Hebrew letters, I got 22. From my left to town, now past my 22. Bang. Who is our Savior? Oh boy, I should have added which script tells us who our only Savior is, man. I mean, what do y'all think, man? Y'all surfing the wave, y'all listening in? What do y'all think, man? Who is our only Savior? Let's go, man. Allahu. Yeah, so surf the wave with this. Reply directly to Renana. She's going to forward it to the other Aquas and myself. And we're going to get back to you, man. So I appreciate all y'all, man, for surfing the wave. The purpose of this survey is to dodge all hijacks at all costs and to tribe up with our Shabata in the flow of primary wata. Alawa. Alawa. Let's bring it on back. Let's bring it on home, man. Let's bring it on home. Tarazante, man. Tarazante. Just fall back, man. Fall back, man. Fall back. Hawa. Grand Khan. Grand Khan, yeah. Alawa. You come over here for the information. We just got the vibration for the nation. Yeah. We got the vibration for the nation. Wow. Managa, it's taken us all these years to get to this point right here, man. I need you to sit up for this right here. This is a real big moment for us. Please sit up right now in your seat. Stand on up, man. All praise to Allah. Give all praise to Allah. Allah for the Etha squad, man. For Drop Nation, the tribe, the council, man. Who's, sparked so much, man. You know what I'm saying? Drakan, Quan, Kuman all over, man. We rising up. Ahab Yosef, man. We was in there in the, one of our powwows and talking about the music. And we said, we want to make sure we get the music to the tribe, but the music we do is for the tribe for free. So we want to make sure we give that as a complimentary thing. And all the stuff we've been doing for free, dropping all the links, the books, we We do all this for free. We share the information for free. We drop this for free. Our YouTube is not monetized. I don't get nothing off of YouTube. So all your support has come because you want us to be here, my noggin. And all praise to Wah, man. And again, love to Yosef, man. We were talking about the music, and I said, man, I've been, having this idea, this flash drive situation, man, kind of putting, some of my drop on there. I said that'd be dope to have the music on there too. And then hey, here we are, man. Yosef, pop off, man. Etha pack, my noggin. You're witnessing the first and only Ether pack, my noggin. Ether pack. Now, what is this, man? This is a one of those swivel flash drives, and this holds about 16 gigs. And on these 16 gigs is going to go all the pertinent research, for, a variety, of subject matters, investigations. We're going to pop off Ether Pack 1, Ether Pack 2, Ether Pack 3, just like the map packs. So the Ether Pack is going to include the map packs. All this is going to be on a flash drive for you. The map pack 1, map pack 2, we're just going to go ahead and put map pack 2 on there. All the maps, all the links for, all these investigations we do in Taurus Sancta, Prester John, you know what I'm saying? All this stuff that we're putting together right here in real time. Tecumseh, Chickamauga, all the drop, man, including some of the flat drop, because we're going to have a whole nother pack for the flat drop. It's going to be called the flat pack. So look out for flat pack 1, flat pack 2. We're going to have a pack just for the droplets called the droplet pack, just as a curriculum for your children. This is the first one. This is the first one. You know what I mean? So we're going to come with lots of different colors and different things. This is the first one. All praise to Wah. So on this baby right here, all in one place. This also comes with a keychain. It's going to come with one of those lanyard necklaces, black material, that straps on so you can have it as a neck piece. You could wear it as a neck piece or a keychain. And again, 16 gigs, so it's going to even have some of our video. So this is going to include the maps. It's going to include the links. It's going to include PDFs, my naga, all these books. It's going to include some of the videos we're going to start putting on these. We're going to put the radio shows on these, just for a variety of radio shows that's in the ether. My naga, this is an ether pack. All praise to Wah. So all that stuff we, digging on, you're going to be able to have on you at all time, right on your keychain or right on your neck piece, you know what I'm saying? And, you might be in the middle of a conversation and, people ain't really trying to hear it. They're like, man, I don't believe that. You say, hold up, eat the pack. Hey, eat the pack, my noggin. Makes you talk facts, my noggin. Eat the pack, make you speak fact, my noggin. When you bring out them ether packs, you're going to be speaking facts. So all you're going to need around you is something to plug in that USB into, my naga, that flash drive. So you could be at a friend's house and be like, you know what, this map or this link or this book or that radio show Yosef did or the music, you know what I'm saying, that's been dropping off in the fourth wave. We need to get some of that music. It's all going to be here in one place. One place. And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning because we also have the ether bands by now. So whether you like to rock your flash drive, you know what I'm saying, on the keychain or the necklace piece, or you can do it as a wristband. So, my noggin, let's go. Let's pop off. These go for $30. So this is all for $30. You know what I'm saying? You get the keychain, the neck piece. This one's 30 and this one's also 30. You know what I mean? So this is going to be our fundraiser, our way to, raise money for all the great land purchase ideas, land development ideas, half of everything that you know what I'm saying, put in on these ether packs, my nigga. Half of that goes into our tribal fund, Love to Brother Nature. And out that tribal fund is a land fund, you know what I'm saying, specifically to buy land and develop our land, you know what I'm saying, as well as a pot for our musicians, you know what I'm saying, all this great music you're hearing, we're going to have a pot in our tribal fund just for the musicians that's dropping music. So, you know what I'm saying, we can at least, start to show our appreciation and reward the musicians, the drop artists and drop producers and drop nation. And then the other part is going back into the 432 infrastructure so we can keep popping off, my noggin. So these ether packs is going to support 432 to Drop Radio directly, as well as our tribal fund and Drop Nation to develop our land and buy our land. And these are the ether packs, my naga. $30 a pop. All the information, all the books, all the links, all the maps, all the music, all the radio shows, videos, all the drop. Right there, man. You know what I'm saying? In one place for your convenience. So, Allah Hawa, I just couldn't wait to introduce y'all, to the first original, man. These are like the Jordan retros, you know what I'm saying? Same color and everything. This is the retro pack, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the first one. So, you know what I'm saying? This is the one that we all going to remember because you're going to see so many styles and colors come out of this thing, man. But the whole purpose is to have all the information in one place. So each ether pack will be different information, you know what I'm saying? Different books, different links, different maps, different music, different things. We're gonna come out with packs just specifically, for health. Might have some health packs going off, just beautiful things coming out, man. So hey, the Ether Squad, you know what I'm saying? Just for the radio specifically, we're gonna have a pack for that. You know what I'm saying? Chef Candy got her cookbook getting prepared. She's going to have her chef pack popping off of recipes and tutorials and different things for your, beautiful Zon cooking, lifestyle, man. The Brother Nature pack, the Yosef pack, we popping off, man. You know what I'm saying? So look out for the Ether packs and please support it because, again, you're supporting the whole flow, the tribal fund, the musicians, 432, you know what I'm saying, all in one place. Allow wow, you know what I mean? So y'all tell me which one you want to start with. We already ordered about 50 of these coming in hot any day now. So go ahead and I put a link below. Fall back, get it done. This is something that every household needs to have. It's only $30. So it could be 5 people in the household, $6 a piece. You're going to have you an ether pack. There's no excuse for you know what I'm saying? We're going to put a lot of work in and loading these things up for you, man. So there's no excuse for anybody not to have the information. You know what I'm saying? Piece up on it. $10 a piece. Okay, we'll share. Me and two other brothers. $10, $10, $10. You got your ether pack. You got all the information, my nigga. All you need is the information. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's gonna look dope though. Definitely get your own. But if you're just getting the information, that's all we're trying to make sure we extend to you. My naga. So don't make no excuses not to have your ether pack. If you want to get down on the first 50 that we ordered, go ahead and put your pre-order in right now. And first come, first serve is how we're gonna do it. And as the demand grows, we're gonna order more. You know what I'm saying? Order some more. And let me know, you know what I'm saying, if you want that style or this style, same price, $30. So rock with us, my noggin. And let's go ahead and grow and expand and flow and just, you know what I'm saying, keep it growing, man. Ether packs coming soon, dropping hot. Love to the tribe. We've been waiting, for that, main flow, that's gonna really hold us down, you know what I'm saying, as a tribe. And I really believe in the Ether packs. It's a great idea to incorporate the flash drives into so many styles and, you know what I'm saying, different varieties. So there's a whole market for that. And all we needed was the right drop, you know what I'm saying, to fill in to this memory bank. So to have a piece of the drop wherever you go, you know what I mean, is beautiful to pop off the fourth wave with this fundraiser right here, my nugget. You know what I'm saying? We having fun. We are rejoicing. This is a big sign of our rejoicing, man. It's a good time. Support the Ether Packs. Click the link below. Let go, my nugget. We just popping off, man. Oh, wow. So let's pick it up right here, man. Right where we need to be. Talking about the Green King. Have you heard of the Green King? The Green King, the Green Man. This is out of the Quest of the Dragon and Bird clan, Poon and Sepu, by Paul Kakai Manana Sala. Let's go, man. The Green Man and the Green King. In Europe, the foliage spewer motif is often related to the medieval tales of the Green Knight, as found in Grail and other literature of the same period. However, an even better explanation might be found in the concept of the Green King found in Eastern Christian apocalyptic literature. Most important of these is the Apocalypse of Bahira, a 9th century work in Syriac Arabic that tells of a green king from the east to come in the last days. Ain't we just talking the last days? Hosea 3 and 5, last days. Let's go. A king dressed in green clothes will come from the east, and through him there will be great peace and quiet in the world. Churches will be built and monasteries will be restored, and he is the last one whom the world expects to come at the end of the kingdoms of the sons of Ishmael. How does it all play? We were talking about the whole Dajjal, Kafir, Kofir al-Tarak situation. Dajjal there is pretty much their version of the Antichrist coming at the end of days and all this. And, to the, you know, to the typical person in these religions, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to see what we're bringing out based on what they taught you, right? If I say, is King David the Antichrist? In Christianity, they're not going to say, yeah, man, we hate David. We hate David. Yeah, we hate David. I'm not saying does the average Christian hate David. I'm saying, is King David their actual Antichrist? Is that what's really happening underneath the layers of the religion? Because when you start digging on their Antichrist scenario, you start running into a benevolent king, a monarch, something, very regal, something very benevolent going on with their Antichrist, because Antichrist is anti their anointed, and then they give you a new anointed. Same thing with Islam. Muhammad the greatest prophet, that don't come out of Israel, my nigga. That don't come out of Judah, Ephraim. That don't come out of us, out of our tribe. It's a tribal war, because these were the tribes that were against the Kofar. These were the tribes that were against Prester John. Prester John was at war against the sons of Ishmael, against the sultans. King David was against their Rome establishment was against their Pope. He's the original Pope, my nigga. He's the original Prester. David, anointed. Green King, though, huh? Green King, huh? The green one. Represents fertility, immortality. Ain't this the year of the green tree dragon? Ain't this the year of the green tree dragon? Fertility, immortality. However, she knows that Al-Qaid was not destined to kingship, and she interprets the concept as an early prototype of the king who would become known as Prester John. Oh, we just getting started. Just reading about the Green King from the Quest of the Dragon. Who is Prester John? When we talk Prester John, we're not just talking one person, even though we focus around David a lot. We also focus around Moses because we are finding more and more correlation, my knock, that David is Moses. I know. It's just that we've been given shades of Moshe. Moshe, let my people go. We don't get Moshe, king of Cush. And Cush is just another term for Ethiopia, which is just a later term of Abyssinia. But I'll be seeing you in the promised land. So Cush is Ethiopia, Abyssinia, Khan. And again, man, all this drop is going to be available in one place for you. Etha Pack. Yeah, man. Look out for it. And for real, every family needs to have this. Everybody needs to have this on their keychain. You could be in anywhere, anytime, and you'll have the drop. All this that we kicking. All this. Everything we talking today, for sure, will be in Ether Pack 1. We just popping off, man. Let go, man. We just popping off. Hey, look out for them Prester packs, though. There will be a Prester John pack eventually. And we're going to have all the Prester John videos on it. All the links, all the books that we use for the investigation will be on the Prester pack. We also got an Ether Gold pack coming. Ether Gold. I'm not even going to, give you a sneak peek of that. I'm just going to say it's called an Ether Gold. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. All right, let's go. Prester pack coming soon. But for real, it's a great way to have the Prester John investigation all in one place, you know what I mean? Or, just a good gumbo, man, of our investigation in one place, you know what I'm saying? So this is amazing. I've been thinking about how to make sure this information is being spread, you know what I'm saying, outside of YouTube, outside of all this. And the Ether Packs is how we're going to do it. We're going to make sure, you know what I'm saying, we made them affordable. These pieces are not cheap. So we had to make sure we, chose some cool pieces, man, and, some nice looks. You know what I mean? So, this is what you're getting, man. And you get nonstop, books, links, drop, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be coming out. And this is how we're going to do it, my knocker. This is how we going to get down with spreading our information and raising the vibration. And as a fundraiser for our tribe, nonstop fundraising for our tribe. So please support the Eat the Pack flow, man. I can't say it enough. I'm so excited about it. You know what I mean? It's all happening. Perfect timing. All Ahab, Allahwa. So this green king, the green one, in the last days, right, in the year of the green tree dragon, Because again, we're just talking last days. Just like we were just talking in Hosea 3. End of days. David, their king. Okay. Green king, green one. Who became known as Prester John. Prester means priest, John means king, so we could be talking Moshe as a priest and king. If he's king of Cush for 40 years in the book of Yashar, that means he's king of Ethiopia for 40 years, Khan. And if he's king of Ethiopia, he's king of Abyssinia. Because Abyssinia is just an old name for Ethiopia, Manag. So Moses being king of Cush for 40 years is him being the emperor of Ethiopia for 40 years at least. You're just talking a mixed multitude, right? Moshe flow, Prester flow, Abyssinia, Ethiopia, Cush. Who is Prester John? Or we just talking about the emperor de los Abyssinios? Did a black man discover the fountain of youth, my nigga? Hey, we had to do it for the wave surfers. So look, man, you're talking about a brother, right? You're just talking about a brother who's not mentioned on Black History Month for a reason. He's been taken out of your psyche, out of your consciousness. But this Khan right here, Prester John, Prester Juan Khan, Emperado de los Abyssinios. He's the emperor of Abyssinia, which is the emperor of Ethiopia. Okay. I'm just showing you where we're going with this, man. Hindu Kush. It's a lot of history, Manaka, connected with the Hindu Kush. Because Hindu is just Hindu. Hindu is just India or Indian. We're just talking the Hindu Kush people, which means we're just talking the Kafirs. The Kafirs. The Kafirs, Manaka. What do we hear that Kafir about? The Kafir of Kitra are an exceptionally interesting people, man. I wonder why. I wonder why. Their name means infidel or non-Muslim, and then they're going to tell us that the name means non-believer in the religious sense. Well, who are they calling a non-believer, and what do they mean? Non-believer in who? Non-believer in their false gods and throwing stones at Mars and Saturn? Non-believer in the gods of the Moabites and the Ammonites? But just know that they are exceptionally interesting. Divided into two groups, Kalasha, Kali, which is just black, man. But in Islam, they say the Dajjal got the kafir on his forehead, right? Or Kati, which is red. That just reminds me of the Kara Katai, Khan. They spell Kati, Kati. I spell Katai. All right, let's see what we got here. Katai. All right. Oh, they got this writing small. I'm trying to see if they got a. There we go. View larger. On the Katai or the Kara Katai. While studying Oriental languages and ethnology and preparing a critical history of Central Asia and India, my attention has been directed to a people whose few descendants now live in a state of dependency scattered over Asia. We said, are we in Asia? Is North America just Asia? I alluded to the Katai or the Kara Katai in the Russian government of Derpan near the Caspian Sea and the Khanate of Katak or Kara Katak in the Siberian district are found to this day in humble condition, the offspring of those who governed Central Asia and China. They once governed Central Asia and they once governed China. Yeah, man. Kara Katai. See, they tried to put Prester John right outside of Africa, right? Because they kept saying he's in Ethiopia. He's in Ethiopia, so that must be Africa, right? Until they couldn't find him there, so they kept looking and they kept looking and they kept looking. And how long did they keep looking? I mean, you know that. You know the truth. How long were they searching for Prester John? Oh, so keep this in mind, because this plays heavy. They're searching for Prester John for 500 years, 1145 to 1645. So they were over there looking in Africa until they said he's not over there. Then they stopped looking right when they found America. Now they stopped looking, right? Because this is in memory of those seafarers who searched for Prester John. This is just the memory of those that died looking for him. Up until 1645, what happened after that? They found something? Okay. Well, it wasn't over here, or, it wasn't in Africa. But this just lets you know that they weren't playing. They were looking for Preston. They thought they found the kingdom of this black man, right? Of this brother who was rocking in Abyssinios or Ethiopia, which is just a generic term, habasa, right? Which just means a mixed, like a mixed multitude. All we hear about is Moshe with his mixed multitude. There's a mixture, right? You had the Kenites or the Midianites with the Israelites. It was a mixed multitude. You're talking about the tribes of Moses or the Moseks, Mosaks, Mashika, Mexicans, Mexica, Ka. This Prester John, Emperor of Abyssinios or Abyssinia, is the same Prester John who is the Emperor of Ethiopia, but is he the same Moshe flow? That's the king of Cush, which is Ethiopia. So I'm going to get back to the katas. But just know when they talk kata, you have katai, ka, which, brings you into the yellow tashis. The victorious Prester John failed to relieve the position of the Crusaders. His armies did not appear. The victories of Prester John failed to relieve the position of the Crusaders. What victories? He's been slicing and dicing. King David's been slicing and dicing the whole time. They're trying to recruit this side of the bloodline against Genghis Khan, Managa. They're still getting smocked by Genghis Khan, Managa. So they need help. They said, let's hire the other side of the family. Let's go get them. In reality, they want to find the cities of gold. So his armies did not appear to help the Christians because he's hijacked free. Without him, the Second Crusade ended miserably. This is why we're saying they searching for him for 500 years. This is the reason for the Crusades, my naga. The priest king or the Prester. So they said if we get this priest king on our side, we'll have a chance to fight against the Khans over there. The more and more war. But Prester John of this story is the emperor of the Kara Kata. But what did they say? Kata? Let's go. Kati? Kati or Kata? Either way, Kara also means black in Turkic. And they're saying that the Kata is red. And then there's the Kalasha, which meant black. That's the other group. And this also means Cathay, Katai, or red land, my noggin. Back to the Papu Vu, the red lands, right? So we got this red, this Kati, this Katai. Katai is Cathay. Come on, man. South America, Peru, Brazil, Mexico, Florida. Cathay, Cateo, or Katai. C or K, interchangeable. So this Cathay is the same Katai that you're seeing right here. Katai, Cathay, Kate, India Superior, right? Tangu. On the other map, we saw Tibet right there. But you're just talking Kate, Katai, Kati, Katai, or Kate. Where is the Hindu Kush? Would it be in India Superior, Managa? Hey, here's a pop question. What does Hindu Kush have to do with Florida? What does Hindu Kush have to do with China, La China? What does Hindu Kush have to do with Cathay? What does Hindu Kush have to do with Mexico? North America. Managa, are we just in Asia? Does South America really just connect to Asia? And we're in Greater Asia and we're taught to call it North America, but it's just India Superior. And you are right now the Asiatic. You are right now in Asia, my naga. You are the Indian and India Superior. The Cathay, the Cathness, the Cathness, the Katai, the Carolina, South Carolina, North Carolina. Cara means black. Okay, let's back up, man. Maybe we're going too fast. Maybe my naga, we're going too fast. Let's fall back, man. Wow. Let's fall back. Maybe we're going too fast. All right, this is this. This is this. This, all this is this. India Superior. India Superior. Let's go in. What do we see? Tangu, right? Tangut. 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 Mangi. 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 Right. Oh, Tibet. Tibet, my naga. Tibet. Now, this one doesn't have Tibet on it, but we know it's right by Mangi and right underneath Tangu. So we got Tangu and Mangi. So Tibet must be right here. Now, what state would that be? Memphis? Tennessee? Where's Tibet? Where's Tibet, my naga? And this says Koroma. We're just talking Rome? Rome? And where would that be? A Roman Jewish colony in America or a Hebrew Khan dynasty in India Superior? And if you're the Indian superior, then you're the Ethiopia superior. You're the Hindu Kush superior, Manag. I mean, you're in all that. This is Egypt superior. This is China superior. Now we're gonna read a little bit about this Moses rocking, the Khan, what I'm saying, flow with the kingdom of Kush for 40 years. And how he got an honorable discharge. Then he got put in a dungeon for 10 years by Zipporah's pops, Jethro, Retuel. Let's pick it up from here. So this Green King business. Green one connects to Prester John, right? Becomes Prester John, known as Prester John. She gives an evidence of passage from Liber a Tensor written by the 14th century Franciscan Juan de Tatalate, who equated the Green King of the Apocalypse with the King of the Tartars, who at the time was widely identified as Prester John, King of the Tartars. Well, normally when we talk of Tartary, we refer to Genghis Khan. But then you're just talking about a war between the Karakatai and Genghis Khan. Back to this book, Swords of the East, by Harold Lamb. Failure of the envoys he had sent to Prester John to return had decided Genghis Khan that war with the Karakatai was unavoidable. So Genghis Khan was going to war with Prester John. So some people call Prester John the king of the Tartars, but this is just a generic term. Tartar means really hell. Like, here's the people we're saying are in hell, right? Oh, back to the Antichrist. Let's put it this way. If the king of the Tartars is identified as Prester John, then ask yourself, what does Tartar mean? And I ain't just talking tartar sauce, man. Hey, make sure y'all taking the tribe up surveys, though, man. Survey. Shabata survey, man. We popping off. Let's go to 1828 for a second, man. I'm just surfing the wave, man. Digging on it in real time. Hey, man, we bringing it home, man. Prester John 57, 58, 59, 60 for the real one. Neighborhood nip. Lego, man. Rest in power. Wings up. Wings up to all the fallen, because we know you rising. Allah, wow. Meteor. Dragon. A fiery shooting meteor. Prester John. Prester. A meteor. Meteor Dragon. Meteor Prester. Meteor you, because you are a fierce or violent person when the hijack is on your land. Male or female, this man or woman is a dragon. Got it. Got it. Meteor. Prester, meteor, dragon, meteor. What is a Tartar? Tatar. Tartar. 1828. They start with this business on the acidic concrete, salt, hard crust. Let's just keep scrolling. A native of Tartary, a corruption of Tartar. Tartar is a noun, which means hell. Not in use no more. Got it. If Prester John, let's get it bigger. The king of the Tartars, who at one time was widely identified as Prester John. If Prester John is the king of Tartary, the king of the Tartars, now you see how religion flips it, because Tartary is hell. So to them, they're saying he's the king of hell. In reality, he's the one bringing hell on them. He's bringing hell on the hijack. So the hijack is saying, this is hell to deal with King David. This is hell. We need our anointed. He's anti us. The Christians can't rock with David because that's not their hero. Zeus is. Zeus is their hero. Yahushua, Zeus, is their hero. They got a whole new testament to make a whole new hero, a whole new romance. And they put David in hell. But he's the king of hell, right? Come on, Naga. He's the king of the Tartars. And Tatar is hell. Tatar. The Tatars, the king of the Tatars is Prester John. Body bag, Daniel. Body bag for the illusion. This is their Dajjal, and this is their anti, their Christ anointed. Because the fallen idols that are the real hell turn him into a Tartar and put King David in hell. According to Ibn al-Taka, the Green King wore green clothing because that was the color of garments worn in paradise. Come on, man. Ain't this the year of the green tree dragon, Manat? Another link with the Prester John kingship. In addition, another link with the Prester John kingship is the wearing of this green royal paradise color, right? In addition to having a paradise within or near his kingdom, Prester John's land was filled with many fruits and fountains. Fountains? Say it with me, my nigga. Say it with me, man. Did a black man discover the fountain of youth? Or we're just talking about El Prester Juan, emperor of the Abyssinians, Ethiopia, king of Kush? Dodge the hijacks, man. We're just talking the fountain of youth. Yeah. Fountains. So, in addition to having paradise within the kingdom of Prester John, Prester John's land was filled with many fruits and fountains that bestowed long life. Long life, fountain of youth, and he ruled with a fabulous emerald scepter. Now remember this emerald scepter because we're going to go into the book of Jashar and we're going to hear them talk about a sapphire stick. And there ain't no difference between this sapphire stick and this what they call emerald scepter. I mean, all praise to what, man. Because, I didn't even see this emerald scepter part, but we have already pulled up the book of Yashar, man. We're going to get to it. So let's get it. Let's get it. So we got paradise in Prester John's land. He's wearing green because it represents paradise. He's the king of the Tartars, which is hell. Now we got the origin of their anti-flip situation, their Dajjal situation. For another possible connection involving the Green King and Al-Qadir. I see my article. Right. All right. So that's a good lead in right there. That's a good intro, man. And this is just the intro. Let's go, man. We're going right into it. Entangled stories, the red Jews of pre-modern Yiddish and German apocalyptic lore. Okay, let's get to page 8. Pull up the links below. And remember, man, all these links will be available on the Etha pack, man. Dropping in hot, man. Let go. Let's pick it up right here. Shared beliefs. The 10 tribes traditionally assumed a role in Jewish apocalyptic thought that was almost identical to their function in the medieval Christian version of the dramatic events of the last days. Here we go again. Hosea 3 and 5, right? Last days. Let's go. Already after the destruction of the Second Temple, rabbinical sources attest to the expectation that these mighty warriors, who? Mighty warriors. See, yeah, I don't know, Max Kellerman, man. I don't know if you really thought this thing through, man. Because to be a Jew means that you are a mighty warrior, man. We're talking Judah. We're talking Joseph. We're talking Ephraim, Ezekiel, putting the two sticks together, man. The 10 tribes traditionally assumed a role in Hebrew apocalyptic thought that was almost identical to their function. Almost identical. So the Hebrew apocalyptic mind frame is almost the same as medieval Christian versions in their last days. But there are differences between how people are viewing the apocalypse. And some have this serenity around their so-called antichrist because there's a benevolent monarch connected and there's paradise connected to it. It's not this hell, torturous, destruction Christian version, my naga. Get out of the mind of a hijack. We're just talking last days. Already after the destruction of the Second Temple, rabbinical sources attest to the expectations that these mighty warriors led by Messiah ben Joseph would finally free Israel. So hold up. Y'all reading this with me? Let's get it bigger. Are we reading that Joseph is going to free Israel? What happened to Joseph's body? What happened to Moses' body? What happened to David, my night? All right. We're talking last days, right? So this is a take on the last days that might not be that familiar in your mind bone. The last days. Mighty warriors led by Messiah, son of Joseph. Who's Messiah, son of Joseph? Ephraim? So Ephraim would be the son of Joseph, who is a Mashiach, manai? Is it not, is this not a very special son of Joseph, manai? Isn't there a reason why Ephraim is considered? I mean, what's Ephraim considered? Ephraim is considered the firstborn. Jeremiah 31. Ephraim is called Hawah's firstborn, just like Israel, Khan, just like Dawid, Khan. So we're not talking JC. We can get that out of there. Jeremiah 31. And Hawah calls Israel my son in Exodus 4, verse 22. All right. We just surfing the wave, man. They shall come with weeping, with supplication will I lead them. I will cause them to walk by rivers of waters in a straight way wherein they shall not stumble. For I am become a father to Israel, and Ephraim is my firstborn. Ephraim, mighty warrior, led by Mashiach, Ephraim. All right, so we're talking last days. Ephraim leading these mighty warriors would finally free Israel from the yoke of Edom or Rome, which would soon become equated with Christianity. The idea of Christians' apocalyptic doom is based on the biblical prophecies about the fall of Edom. Before giving birth to the twins Esau, Edom, or Jacob, Israel, Hawah announced to their mother Rebekah, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 people shall be separated from your bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Genesis 25:23. The older is Esau and the younger is Jacob, who eventually talks possession of his brother's birthright as the firstborn, thus becoming the father of the two people of Israel. Now we're going to get in the book of Jasher, we're going to get, a little bit about this staff that was, passed down from Adam all the way through to Jacob. And it had a part where it said that Jacob had to take it by force from Esau. And it's the first time I'm kind of reading this, and you're like, okay, does that mean Jacob literally just said, hey man, give me your staff, I'm taking it? Or does it mean that this was a continuation of the birthright that was sold, right, for the red pottage or portage, you know what I'm saying? The red lentils, you know what I'm saying? So the birthright was sold. And did Esau want to give this emerald staff up? Did Esau have the staff? Did Isaac give it to Esau? He didn't want to give it up when his birthright was sold by himself. Did Jacob have to wrestle it from him? And is that why Jacob was all nervous when he had to return and say what's up to his brother and they hugged it out? Was that why he was so nervous, man? Because Esau didn't want to give up the staff and he had to wrestle it from him by force? Well, the staff is only going to end up in the right hands, my knock. No accidents when it comes to this staff business, man. Let's keep reading. So we have Ephraim, leading this mighty warriors to free Israel against Edom or Esau or Rome, however you look at it, which would soon become equated with Christianity. All right, two nations are in your womb, two separate people. We got that. The Bible translates the hatred between the two brothers into the struggle of two ancient people, the Israelites and Edomites, which reaches its resolution in accordance with Genesis 25. Listen up. When David, king of Israel, subjugates Edom, however, in the 1st century CE. So when David subjugates Edom, this is when Genesis 25, where this is the, reflection going on, not in terms of New Testament reflection, but this is the resolution, should I say, of this Genesis 25. This is what's happening in 25, coming into fruition with Dawid, king of Israel, subjugating Edom. However, in the 1st century, when the Jewish kingdom or the Hebrew kingdom lost its political independence to Rome and the temple was destroyed, the typology, love to Yosef the real, he is tearing down the layers, the barriers, exposing the typologies in the New Testament, man. Get in that classroom Sunday, every Sunday, 7 o'clock Pacific time, man. Pacific time, 9 o'clock Central, man. TDR, 432 to drop, man. Let's go. Typology is popping off, man. So Edom became synonymous with Rome, and the elders' fall was deferred into the messianic future. Let's keep going. Israel's redemption was now contingent upon the fall of Edom, Rome's Christianization in the 4th century added a religious layer of interpretation. In addition to being a political entity and empire, Edom, Rome would henceforth be identified with the Christian church as well. The 17th century Protestant theologian Hermann Fabronius includes the Jewish scenario for these apocalyptic wars in his description of various superstitious ceremonies and curious customs practiced by the dispersed Jews prior to the arrival of Mashiach ben David. The powerful Mashiach ben Joseph, a descendant from one of the lost tribes will come from the land beyond the Sambatyon River. Love to the Templar. How the Templar Irvin Reed's been saying, let's get back on the Sambatyon and look at that lead in, how we surf on up. You know, the Templar brings out so much pertinent information, especially around Esau, the real flow. You know, they try to demonize this hatred, but in reality, those brothers hugged it out. However that staff or the scepter got passed, they hugged it out. And the descendants kept this war, this hatred flowing because of this birthright scenario, but they hugged it out. Esau at the end of the day knew what Hawa's intentions are, man. And it was about the whole, it was about the tribe, it was about the flow. They are brothers, by the way, they are twin brothers. So, you know, guard your heart from the hatred. It's not about hating, you know, all of the tribe of Esau and hating Esau. I mean, you know, they hugged it out, my naga. If Jacob could hug it out with his brother Esau, surely you can, you know what I'm saying, see clearly with our brothers today. You know what I'm saying? We can see clearly with each other today. Surely we can come and hug it out today, my naga, if they hugged it out. This is the frequency we must be on. And it led us right to the Sambatyon Templar. Take the wheel, man. So let's get this again, man. The 17th century theologian, all right? All right, he got this paper called The Various Superstitious Ceremonies and Curious Customs Practiced by the Dispersed Jews. And this is what he's saying. Prior to the arrival of Mashiach Dawi, Joseph, or the son of Joseph, or Ephraim, a descendant from one of the lost tribes, will come from the land beyond the Sambatyon, together with the tribes of Ephraim, Manasseh, and Benjamin, and some of the children of Gad. They go into battle, attack the king of Edom. So this is all supposed to be popping off before the arrival of either David, or they say son of David, but this could easily be, you know, one of those lost in translations, because I believe we're just talking Dawi. We're talking end of days, right? We're talking Hosea 3 and 5. So the powerful Mashiach ben Joseph, he's going to come from beyond the Sambatyon. So what's beyond the Sambatyon? Like, what is the Sambatyon, man? You might be a new wave surfer. What is the Sambatyon? Where is the Sambatyon? Is it something that you can see in this dimension, in this matrix? But before the return of Dawi, Joseph's coming from beyond the Sambatyon, going into battle with the king of Edom. Who is that today? Oh, that is the Roman Empire. Who's that today? Messiah ben Joseph will die in battle. Interesting. But his campaign is preparation for the reign of the Davidic Messiah. So he's preparing the way of a David's return, right? During the Middle Ages and early modern times, a hopeful rumor would occasionally circulate among European Jews that the Messianic army, or David's army, made up of their distant brothers, was about to end their oppression. So they weren't looking for Christ to return. They were looking for the army of David, Managa, to end their oppression. In Germany, the Jews knew that when the exile will come to an end, the red Jews will also come to our aid then. Now, this is all talking about what, 12th century, 11th century. So we ain't talking about no Germany, Hitler, Germany, 1940 something. We ain't talking that Germany, my nigga. I'm talking Benjamin Franklin's Germany. Remember that Observations of Mankind by Benjamin Franklin? He said all the Germans are swarthy black. I'm talking about the swarthy black Germans, my nigga. In Germany with the swarthy blacks, right? The Nagas. These Hebrews knew that when the exile will come to an end, they, the red man, the copper colored man, the red, will also come to our aid then. They were sure that the red Jews would have come long ago and liberated us. The red Jews to liberate us, my nigga. This ain't no Christ business, man. They were sure that the red Jews would have come a long way to liberate us if it weren't for the Sambatyon. Now, see how that story is reflected as, oh, Prester John would have saved us. Prester John would have got there, but the Tigris River, this river was between them, so they couldn't make it happen. Prester John couldn't save the Christians because he couldn't cross the Tigris River. That's their story. Now we're seeing the actual factual story, my night. That Prester John or David, who they're calling Red Jews, he would have liberated us. He would have saved us if it weren't for the Sambatyon that isolated them from the rest of the world. According to the legend, the river was impossible to cross. They said this river was flowing 6 days out the week, right? It says impossible to cross during the 6 ordinary days of the week due to its roaring waters and the stones, sand, and rubble that it carried. They said this river flowed 6 days a week and then rested on the Sabbath day, rested on Shabbat, manah. I mean, that's the story that's the hype about the Sambatyon. Well, let's go. Let's get it, man. 6 ordinary days. Uh-oh. It rested on the Sabbath only. And they can't cross the Sabbath river on the Sabbath, manah. And Lost Tribes and Promised Land says that it starts sparking up all this fire anyway, so you can't cross it on the Sabbath. It rests only on the Shabbat. Other than that, it's impossible to cross on the other 6 days because of the roaring water, stones, and sands and rubble that it carries. You can't cross it. Now, this is roaring waters and stones. Lost Tribes and Promised Lands by Ronald Sanders says this is a waterless sea. It's just sand, stones, and precious, precious gems and all that. So maybe it has roaring water underneath it. You know what I'm saying? It rested on the Sabbath only. And when the Jews were prohibited from traveling across. So they were prohibited on the Sabbath because that's work, right? From traveling across. In those other days, it was impossible to cross. So it had them in exile. So here comes the tribes out of exile, right? Here comes Ephraim in it. And who's he coming with? Together with the tribes of Ephraim, Manasseh, Benjamin, and Gad. Because all of them are on the other side. So imagine if this is true. Just imagine if it's true. Imagine if we have tribes that were literally hidden beyond this sandy river that flowed 6 days and rested on the Sabbath. Imagine if they were in full, imagine if it was something like Wakanda, Manaka. I mean, rest in power. Our Ak Chadwick, man. That really hit the heart bone because, whatever happened, man, we don't know. Whatever that situation is, it seems too strange, right? The Black Panther, Manaka. Love the Caramayo, the Jaguar, Manaka. So imagine if they were just still popping off Jaguar style beyond the Sambatyon, full force. And then it finally get released to cross this Sambatyon River. And here comes Joseph, Manaka. And whether he dies in battle, I don't know. But is his battle a preparation for the Mashiach, Dawi, the messenger, Dawi, coming to liberate Khan? If it weren't for the Sambatyon, he would have liberated. Hmm. It says, not until the end of time. All right, so is this what Prester John's waiting for? Is Prester John beyond the Sambatyon? We've been searching for him too. They've been looking. We've been looking. Hosea 3:5, right? Hey man, it's all happening. Hosea 3:5. Afterward, the children of Israel shall return. Seek Hawah and David. Why? We're just talking about the end of days. Why are you seeking the Creator now, my nugget? Why are you seeking David, the Khan, Mashiach, messenger, who they say is in hell, the king of the Tartars, right? In the end of time, will Hawah stop the wild guardian of the lost tribes? So the Sambatyon is the wild guardian of the lost tribes, and allow them to traverse the Sambatyon. When? End of time. When? End of days. You're searching for Hawah and David, my naga, because who's coming across the Sambatyon, my naga, in the end of time? Oh yeah, these red Jews would have liberated us. This preparation being done for the reign of the Davidic Mashiach, David. This river that rests only on Shabbat is keeping the tribes like a wild guardian. And I wouldn't be surprised if this was a dragon. I mean, they say how so many of these rivers, these dragons turn into mountains and rivers. Would dragon turn into the Sambatyon? Wild guardian, the lost tribes. Of the lost tribes, finally it will allow them, Hawah will allow them to traverse, to cross it. 16th century Germany, the Red Jews, as both Jews and Christians called the Lost Tribes, or 10 tribes, called the 10 Lost Tribes, they played an important role. So the Red Jews are, well, they say 10 Lost Tribes, but we're just talking about the tribes. Played an important role in both Jewish and the Christian apocalyptic expectations and popular thought. Yeah, now they got raptures. They got 144,000. Come on, man, you already won. Given that exacting revenge on the Christians was a central feature of Ashkenazi Messianism in medieval and early modern Central Europe, as Israel Yuval has shown, the Jews longed for their red brethren as much as eschatological avengers as the role of messianic saviors. All right, man. So these Hebrews longed for their red brethren, or what? The tribes of Joseph, as the Avengers, my nog. You think it's play? In the role of messianic saviors. Well, Israel only has one savior, and that's Hawa. But Hawa's the one that's popping it off. He's the one that's stopping the guardian, also known as the Sambatyon, allowing the Davidic flow to flow, the Joseph flow to flow. Role of messianic savior. So these are just messianic messiahs, which is the tribe beyond the Sambatyon River. Okay. We're just talking Sambatyon, man. We got to go to a familiar source, as we get ready to make, one of the most beautiful, beautiful dismounts of all time. Lost tribes and promised lands, man. Back at it, man, like we never left. This is where it all began for us, man. When it comes to the Prester recon, so much popped off of this drop right here. Even talking about this Guinea situation and the Portuguese sea route to Prester John and the treasures of the Indies proved to be long. The constellations of the Guinea trade were meanwhile to be found on this way. There was something well known to Portugal's Carthaginian forebears, of whom Herodotus wrote. Man, look, the Portuguese sea route to Prester John, we just looked at the Prester John monument in Portugal to the seafarers who didn't make it. And when you talk Prester John, you're talking the war with Genghis Khan. Again, swords from the east. Genghis Khan with the war against the Karai or the Kariots. Once his mind was made up, had once moved at once toward Tangut, Tangut. Same Tangut we just found here in North America, Tangut. Managa, the same Tangut. Right here, Tangut. Tara Santa. What does Tara Santa got to do with Tangut, Managa? What does Tara Santa got to do with Tangut? Or is this North America? Oh, is this Asia? Man, we just still looking for same thing they looking for, man. This is a Portuguese monument in Portugal. This is in Portugal. You know what I'm saying? So when we start talking about the Portuguese sea route to Prester John, we're talking about the Portuguese sea route, seafarers, that were looking for King David Prester John from 1145 to 1645, 500 years. One question, Managa. Did a black man discover the fountain of youth? Simple question. Who is Prester John? How we really know? I mean, I know how you feeling, but how you really know? How you really know? Hey, we're doing great. We're doing great. Let's go. So the wild guardian, the Sambatyon, is now being stopped at the end of time to make way for the Davidic flow as preparation for the reign of David. Let's back it up a little bit. Let's read it. Let's read it quickly from here, man, because it gets real good to us every time we get in this document, man. Pull it up. At the place south of Egypt on the Catalan map, the Saracen king is described as being always at war with the Christians of Nubia, who are under the rule of the emperor of Ethiopia, of the land of Prester John. But Ethiopia is below the southernmost edge of the map, and we learn nothing more about this. The narrators of John de Bethencourt's Canarian expedition speak of going to Africa to obtain news of Prester John, and Prince Henry's chronicler Gomez Innes de Zorora writes of the explorations of the African coast that the prince not only desired to have knowledge of the land, but also of the Indies and of the land of Prester John if he could. Indeed, the search for priest John, for the name of Presbyter Johannes in Latin is Preter John in French. Well, how'd they say it right here? Prester, Prester, Prester. Why? Now check it. Which is Prester John in Latin and Preter John in French, was considered by Zorora to be one of the main reasons for Prince Henry's whole enterprise. This is the main reason. Searching for Prester John is the main reason for the entire crusades and the entire enterprise, Managa, of them looking over here to begin with. They're looking for the land of Prester John. That's why they found India superior. That's why they found you, Managa, right here. Because they had to keep searching. So this priest king, this Prester John, this priest John was the main reason for Prince Henry's whole enterprise, the legend of a Christian prince That's the hijack, man. It's the fourth wave, man. King David ain't no Christian. Let's go. Living at the other flank of the Muslim world had excited Europe for nearly 300 years, but Henry the Navigator's zeal to find him may seem surprisingly in the light of the dismal history of race relations that was to ensure or ensue as a result. By this time, most educated Europeans considered Prester John to be black. Did a black man discover the fountain of youth? Why didn't you read about this in grade school? Why did they hide this from you, man? What were they looking for? Where are you today? Because most educated whites or Europeans knew Prester John was black. They couldn't tell you that, because then they can't tell you from Africa, man. Not if they're still searching for him, and they had to keep searching, and they finally found him when they found you. After the wars, or actually this is right before this Chickamauga situation, right? 1776. So who's the Chickamauga? This is 100 years. 100 years later, we got the Chickamauga popping off, making no deals. 100 years later. So most educated Europeans consider Prester John to be black. This does not mean that they had not specifically identified him with the Emperor of Ethiopia as we understand that designation today. Well, Ethiopia is Abyssinios. Abyssinios. Abyssinios is Abyssinia is old name for Ethiopia. So who got the drop on the mixed multitude? The reign of Dawid, Emperor of Ethiopia, right? King of Kush. Let's go. The geography of the Middle Ages was too vague for this, and the legend more splendid than that monarch or any monarch ever has been. In fact, Prester John had not originally been placed in Africa at all. The legend made its first known appearance in Europe in the 12th century when Bishop Hugh of Jabala arrived in Rome to appeal for the Second Crusade. All about the Black Priest King, right? On behalf of the beleaguered Christian princes then established in the Near East. As a result of the first, Hugh told a heartening story about a far eastern king simply named John. No, he's not a Christian. Now they say he's a Nestorian who had invaded Persia not long before the conquered Ecbatana. Remember, Nestorian, old king renowned for wisdom, wise counsel. So this is connected with the Magi, the Nestor flow, the old wise counsel flow, Managa, who had invaded Persia not long before and conquered Ecbatana. So this Prester John had already been, slicing and dicing in the Persia and the Medes, right? Remember, we were in Persian Median captivity. John had then taken his army toward Jerusalem, intending to help its crusader king to defend it against Muslim attack. So here we go. So are we to believe the story that Prester John is helping the Christian crusader king to defend it against Muslim attack, but had been unable to get his troops across the Tigris? describing John as a descendant of those magi. All right, hold up, man. So same story, right? Prester John couldn't help us because he couldn't get his troops across the Tigris. Is this another word for the Sambatyon River? That's all we asking. What did we just read here? In the last days. We have this Joseph Mashiach popping off prior to the arrival of this David Mashiach, who comes from the land of the Sambatyon. Now they're comparing this to these red Jews. They were sure that the red Jews would have come long ago and liberated us if it weren't for the Sambatyon that isolated them from the rest of the world. So they would have gotten help. They would have gotten help from the red Jews. Or they would have gotten help from the Davidic Mashiach, Manage. They would have gotten help from Joseph, man. The Kara Katai. Katai, red land, pure land. Red Ibaru would have come along and liberated us if it weren't for the Sambatyon. Oh, man. Prester John would have helped us defend the Crusader King to defend us against a Muslim attack if it hadn't been for the Tigris. He couldn't get his troops across the Tigris, or he couldn't cross the Sambatyon River. Because in order to cross the Sambatyon River, Hawa has to make it pop off, man. At the end of time, Hawa will stop this river, this wild guardian of the lost tribes, and allow them to traverse the Sambatyon. So they try to make this into a Tigris, and the Christians would have gotten help if it wasn't for the Tigris, or we're just talking the Sambatyon. Oh, but he was one of the magi that, was over there, bowing down to baby Jesus, man. Nah, man. But he could have been there when Joshua, son of Nun, was born. As we know, they're reflecting this Isus and this one Joshua and another Joshua. Let me say you got to choose your Joshua. Because David rocking with Joshua makes a lot of sense. In other words, Moses rocking with Joshua makes a lot of sense, right? So this is Prester John 57. You've been surfing the wave and, you've been able to put things together. So we're going to play with different theories. We can have our own theory. And we will throw around this theory of Moses and David being, complements of each other, of one and the same energy, king and priest. One was separated to, only have this priest flow like Moshe, the other just a king flow like David. You didn't know David was also a priest, and you didn't know Moses was also a king. King of Cush, that is. We're about to get it. We about to get it. All right, so we see the similarity between the Tigris and the Sambatyon. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. I'm just checking out this piece right here on page 40. Because they were just all about converting Israelites to Christianity, right? The idea that they might descend from the lost tribe of Israel. Who? The Tartars? The same Tartars that's supposed to be in hell? The Tartars were often in contact with the far-flung Nestorians. Old king renowned for wisdom. Mama. The Tartars in contact with the Nestorians, or Genghis Khan in contact with Prester, had shown interest in Christianity from time to time. They can't even find a guy, but they say he got interest. Oh, because his letters are saying so. Okay. The idea that they might be descended from the lost tribes of Israel also helped encourage the dream that they would one day see the light and convert to Christianity in mass, Manak. So they were trying to convert the Indians to Christianity. Same story, right? Except you didn't know that the Indians are the lost tribes of Israel, are the Negro in America, Managa. The Negro, the Regal Negro, the Regal Negro. So they've been converting us. They got churches on every corner. They did a great job and formed the other jaw of the great Christian movement against Islam. So they wanted to increase this more on more war scenario because it was already going down. And of course, the example of mass conversion in the Central Asian steppes had been provided by the Khazars. Many Europeans evidently thought this had been a conversion to Christianity. Later on, there was to be widespread but mistaken belief that Genghis Khan had become a Christian. If they couldn't convert Genghis Khan, how did they convert Prester John? The Tartar version of the legend was still strong enough in the late 13th century for Marco Polo to assume that a neighboring prince he had heard about while in Cathay was Prester John. Where's Cathay? Oh, Cathay. Oh, right, North America. Gotcha. It's all happening, man. For my people. It's all happening. This one's cut off right in the middle, so Cathay would be on the other side of that little cut off. And they start going into a couple things, man. A couple things we touched on as far as the Kofar al Tarak. But then they go into the Sambatyon, and we're going to get back on the Kofar al Tarak, get a little closer. But what you need to know, indeed, it is very likely that some sort of identification between Prester John and the King of Israel, Managa, between the remote realm of Christians and the final refuge of the 10 tribes. So we just talked about Ephraim being on the other side, and they're comparing it with the Prester John letter. And there were different versions that were bringing you different perspectives. The original one has Prester John as this, as the King of Kings, Khan of Khans. The 1507 hijack remix, you know what I'm saying, has Prester John as a lesser king of Israel. So it says, in fact, the Prester John letter may, at least in part, have Jewish roots. Okay, Hebrew origin. Prester John letter, Hebrew origin. Prester John letter, Hebrew roots. In the desert that separates the mountains from the sandy sea. Let's go, Sambatyon. The writer tells us an underground rivulet turns into a large river in which an abundance of precious stones is to be found. Beyond this river, he goes on, are 10 tribes of Jews, Hebrews, who, though they pretend to have their own kings, are nevertheless our servants and tributaries. Now we see clearly we're talking about the northern tribes, the tribes of Ephraim, the tribes of Joseph. King David is saying, I got the scepter. King David is saying, they pay tribute to me. I'm David. But they pretend that they have their own king in the northern tribes. Just like the script, they broke off, right? So it says, he goes on that there are 10 tribes of Hebrews who, though they pretend to have their own king, are nevertheless our servants and tributaries, because they all are under King David. On the other side of the Sambatyon. Yeah, I just want to pick it up here. Now it says, indeed, it is very likely that some sort of identification between Prester John and the King of Israel, between this remote realm of Christians and the final refuge of the 10 lost tribes, lies buried in the very sources of this legend. This possibility seems very close to the surface in the early Central Asian version provided by Hugh of Jabala, with its intimations of the Tartars and the kings of the Khazars. Only a generation after Bishop Hugh, the celebrated Jewish traveler Benjamin of Tudela described a relationship he had heard between 4 of the lost tribes and a nomadic people called the Kofar al-Tarak. So we've been talking about the Kefirs. They said it means unbeliever in Islam, that the Dajjal, or their anti-anointed Antichrist, will have this Kefir written on his forehead. It means unbeliever. Some people say it means Negro. It's a slang. But are we just referring to the Kofar al-Tarak or Torah? Is the Kefir, is this the origin of what they're talking about? This group that's connected with Prester John in Central Asia, which is North America. The Kofar al-Tarak evidently were not Christians, but their purported relationship with some of the lost tribes resembles that of Prester John. So there's a relationship between Prester John and the Kofar al-Tarak. Let's go. Let's go, man. Running along one of the borders of Eldad's homeland is a river 200 yards wide, full of sand and stones, but without water. So some say it got water, some say it don't. Again, maybe the water's just underneath. The stones make a great noise like the waves of the sea in a stormy wind. so that in the night the noise is heard at a distance of half a day's journey, and this river of stone and sand rolls during 6 working days and rests on Shabbat. As soon as the Sabbath begins, fire surrounds the river, so they can't cross it. They got fire popping off, and the flames remain into the next evening, because Hawa knows that they would still try to cross it on the Sabbath. So he said, man, I don't want to have to kill these people. I don't want to have to kill these people. Let me just put this fire up, man. Make sure that they stay put. Thus, no human being can reach the river for a distance of half a mile on either side. The fire consumes all that grows there. This is a dividing line, Manak, really of protection, so the hijack can't reach it. This river, called the Sambatyon, clearly is an ancestor of the river of stones in Prester John's letter. This is especially evident in the 1507 English version, and that's when they flipped it, because then they had it running for 4 days, and they say I think Josephus had it completely flipped. Let's look at the fine print. It said Eldad in accordance with an already ancient Jewish tradition from which he differs only in locating the river in Ethiopia instead of Syria. So where's Ethiopia? They try to put it in Syria. He's made legendary Sambatyon a boundary line between the lost tribes and their neighbors. This is a boundary line. The first mention of the Sambatyon on record occurred in the 1st century. Josephus wrote in his Jewish War of a river in Syria that has an astonishing peculiarity, for when it flows its copious stream with the current far from sluggish, then all at once its sources fail, and for the space of 6 days it presents the spectacle of a dry bed. So he flipped it and said that it rests for 6 days and only runs on the Sabbath. When in reality, it runs for 6 days and rests on the Sabbath. But he has the Sabbath river, you know what I'm saying, flowing only on the Sabbath. All right, so that's the flip of Josephus. So very interesting flow here. It presents a spectacle of dry bed again. Though no change has occurred, it pours forth on the 7th day, just as before, and it has always been observed to keep strict in this order, whence they have called it the Sabbatical River. Now it says the Jewish Josephus surprisingly puts his river to work on Saturday. Why does Josephus put the Sabbath river to work on a Saturday? Perhaps this is for him a symbol of spiritual rejuvenation. The Gentile Pliny, so here's another source on the Sabbath river, on the other hand, set the matter aright when he said only a few years later that in Judea is a stream. Where's Judea? Where's Judah? Where's Judah? A stream that dries up every Sabbath. The river flows into rabbinical literature through the great Midrash, which says that the 10 tribes wandered into exile on the other side of the river Sambatyon. And now we got them popping off in the end of days, right? On the other text. Let's keep going. This is out of Britannica. They also spell it Sambatyon, like Sebastian. Wow, Sebastian is just Sambatyon, Manaya. That's crazy. And maybe that Zan is the sign, is the Zan. Zanbanyan, huh? Legendary Sabbath river, beyond which 10 lost tribes of Israel were exiled. They say 721 BC. Died your hijack. Just know we're talking Shalmaneser, Genghis Khan. And if Shalmaneser is Genghis Khan, then what does that have to do with the Sambatyon? Legends describe it as a roaring torrent, often not of water but of stones, the turbulences of which ceases only on the Sabbath. So it rests on the Sabbath when the Hebrews are not allowed to travel. Now, I'll leave this link. I mean, it's very interesting, man. We're just talking about the sons of Moshe. Managa. What's this connection with Prester John and Moses, or David and Moses? Rabbi Ben Joseph also saw fit to mention it as did the 17th century scholar Manasseh ben Israel, who carefully studied Eldad Hadani's 9th century account of his reputed discovery of the sons of Moses beyond the Sambatyon. Okay. I mean, lost tribes in promised land, right? What does it say on page 46? We have seen it functioning just this way in the Prester John letter, but the neighbors across the river in Eldad's account are not Prester John and his Christian subjects. Here, rather, in Eldad's description, there is also the tribe of Moses, our just master. Wow. So instead of Prester John, Eldad is saying that these are the tribes of Moshe. And we keep saying as a theoretical, you know what I'm saying, as a theoretical jolt in our in our in our Ruach Managi, is Prester John Moses or David or both separately or both together? Same thing. We just know that there's also the tribe of Moses, our just master, which is called the tribe of Giannis because it fled from idol worship. So they're calling it John or Johannes because it means fleeing from idol worship. Rule number 1, keep the code, and clung to the fear of Hawa, or the respect of Hawa. A river flows around their land for a distance of 4 days' journey on every side. They dwell in beautiful houses provided with handsome towers, which they have built themselves. They sow and reap and have all sorts of gardens, Manak. Where's Eden? With all kinds of fruit and cereals, namely beans, melon, gourds, onions, garlic, wheat, barley, seeds that grow hundredfold. They have faith. They know the law. They keep the code. They know the law. Moreover, they see nobody, and nobody sees them except the 4 tribes who dwell on the other side of the rivers of Ethiopia. Who's the king of Ethiopia? Who's the king of Abyssinia? They see them and speak to them, but the river Sambatyon is between them. So they can see each other, they speak to each other, but the Sabbath river is still between them. They have plenty of gold, silver, sow flax, cultivate the crimson worm, make beautiful garments. These are Levites of the tribe of Moses and the priesthood. So when we bring up Moses, king of Cush, we're bringing up Moses being the king of Cush or Ethiopia, because Cush is interchangeable with Ethiopia. And who is the emperor of Ethiopia? Abyssinias. I said Ethiopia. Old name, right? For Ethiopia. Who's the king of Ethiopia? Who's the king of Cush, Managa? Oh, yeah. Tribes of Moshe. We're talking the fleeing from idol worship. Oh, they over here trying to jam up our sources, my night. Let's get it again, like it's the first time. Toward the source of the Sambatyons, Shabbat discourse and the origins of the Sabbatical River legend Daniel Steen Kokin. Another great drop. I'm just leading you to some water for the dismount, my night. This is a great write-up right here, my night. Writing back in 1888, Adolf Neubauer, Neubauer, the father of modern scholarship on the lost tribes, warned that it would be lost time to trouble ourselves about the identification of this stream. You saying, man, don't even look for it, man. Neubauer was referring, of course, to the Sambatyon River, the mythical waterway that, according to common understanding, rests each Sabbath and separates missing Jews, the 10 lost tribes, and others from their brethren, and indeed from the known world. Like the Matrix, 6 days each week, according to the legend, the river runs so powerfully that neither these tribes nor their seekers can cross it on the Sabbath, either natural wonders or halakhic restrictions, which means, blessed, holy restrictions prevent them from doing so. So we heard about the fire that pops off. Thus, whether showcasing sheer power or solemnity of seventh day, or the piety of the isolated community, the Sambatyon legend certifies that only in the Messianic age will this lost population be restored to the rest of the Hebrews. A great many versions of this legend have come down to us in rabbinic and other sources, often verifying significantly as to the river's nature and behavior, as well as to the identity and precise location of the population trapped and or protected by its bank. In some cases, the river flows 6 days each week with water. In other cases, with sand and stone. We got that. In many accounts, the river rests entirely on the Sabbath, whereas in other cases, its banks erupt in fire on this day or are obscured by clouds. Okay. So we got, both versions here. We got it resting on the Sabbath completely. We got it popping off with fire. All right. Sometimes all 10 of the so-called lost tribes are placed across the river. On other occasions, only some of the tribes are to be found there, or even a separate group entirely, like the Levite sons of Moses and the Rechabites. Who's the Rechabites? Who's the Rechabites? You gotta go back and press the John crate. When you dig on the Rechabites, these are the tribes that were too pure to even drink wine with, the Levite flow, So, this was a pure flow that even, when you dig on the Rechabites, it starts to connect to the Kenites, K-I-N, Kenites. We said, are these the Cainites? These blessed seeds of Cain that if you touch them, you get sevenfold. Remember the mark Hawa put on Cain was a blessing because, you touch Cain, he gonna see you 7 times that. So Cain was protected. And who's the Cainites? Who's the Kenites? Who's the Rechabites? Manai. All right. Finally, while using marketing or usually marking the border pass which the tribe reside, the river sometimes denotes merely the region in which the tribes are to be found, or on occasion even encircles them. For one widely attested tradition, the Sambatyon demarks or demarcates the refuge of only one of the three exiles of Israel. Only one, or in some cases, two of the three exiles of Israel. So this is a place for multiple exiles, man. Whether it's one, whether it's two, or it could be all three exiles. Is this where, was this refuge during the Babylonian captivity with the exilarchs popping off, David Soslan and them or not? And it goes back into Flavius again, right? We're going to go into Flavius for the dismount as well, who goes, deeper into Sambatyon. So I'll leave it here with this one because this is where I want to pick up because I like how it's going to get real specific into the Sambatyon. But let's just, dig on a couple of things to wrap it up when we talk about the tribes and, these titles that we're dodging here, man. I mean, this is out the Jewish Quarterly Review, April 1889. Where it says, where are the 10 tribes? And I mean, this is what we're going to pick back up at as well. You know what I mean? This is early translators of the Bible commentaries, Abraham Bar Hia, almost looks like Heya or Hawa, but they can't get too close to that frequency, so they just play around like 440, you know what I mean? We have seen in the second part of our essay that the doubtful Eldad of tribe of Dan found the lost tribe. Okay, let's get a couple pages of this, man. In Abyssinia or Ethiopia. So they're saying Eldad found the lost tribes in Abyssinia, right? Or Ethiopia. Well, I'm glad we confirmed that Abyssinia and Ethiopia are the same damn thing, right? Which is why it says right here, Prester John, Emperor of Abyssinia, or Ethiopia, or Kush. Let's go. In the following period, 10th to 12th century, that's right in that range, 1165 letter, Prester John, they are looked for partly in Babylonia, Persia, and India. So the tribes are also looked for in all these other spots, Persia, Babylonia, remember the Babylonian captivity, while later writers indicate their existence again in Abyssinia, Algeria, and the African deserts. Lost tribes? I mean, this is the Jewish Quarterly Review. Why are you looking for them in Africa? I mean, Max Kellerman acting like we crazy, right? Max Kellerman acting like we crazy, huh? So it says each author has its own story, his own story and arguments. Let us begin with the translators. The translators are by Saadya, Saadyaa, Gaon, Jahan. That's another way of spelling John, J or Gaon. Of the first books of the books of Kings and Chronicles are unfortunately lost. So the translations by Saadya, John, who died around 941, they say, of the books of Kings and Chronicles are unfortunately lost. And so are those of the early Karaites, Karakata, right? So we lost all those, unfortunately, right? They were all composed in Arabic. In Psalms, Sadia explains the heading Prayer of Moses and prayer to be recited by the children of Moses meaning those mentioned in First Chronicles, children of Moses. So who are the children of Moses? Would they be the same as these tribes of Moses? There's also the tribe of Moses. Anything to do with them on the other side of the river? Moreover, they see nobody see them. Tribes of Moses. Children of Moses. Will this lead us into the Mosaks, the Meshika, Moshe, Meshikans? Tribes of Moses, Mesheks. We're going to get that for the dismount, that there's two Mesheks, man. Japheth got one and Shem got one, right? So let's go. Children of Moses, meaning those mentioned in First Chronicles 23, verse 14 through 23, and not the fictitious Levites on the river Sambatyon. So what they call fictitious Levites on the river Sambatyon are the same tribes of Moses. Nobody see them and they don't see nobody. Put the sources together. Now it's interesting when they start mentioning this river of Gazan or Gozan, because we got this Guz popping up, Ghuz, that seems to maybe have a correlation with this Gozan situation. And what does Guz have to do with ooze? Uz. Now we're talking Job and them, right? But all right, let's go. Let's just take our time. Only the way. To this Moses ben Ezra, let's go, adds that a man told him that in those provinces 40,000 Jews still existed who paid tribute. Cariot authors of the 10th century also mentioned Khorasan as the province where the Israelitish exiles settled. Okay. All right. Let's get this next one. That's this right here. Gozan is mentioned as Guzana. Who's this Goose, man? Where do we see this Goose pop up? This Ghuz Goose. I feel like it has something to do with this Kofar al-Tarak situation. Okay. We already got that up here. About the time, pull up this link, depts.washington.edu. We're talking about this Benjamin of Tudela drop. Let's get back into it. About the time news had reached Europe that a powerful king named Prester John, who reigned over a people coming from Central Asia, India Superior, North America, had invaded Western Asia and inflicted a crushing defeat upon the Muslim army. So Prester John was fighting against the Muslim army. This is why they were recruiting them. The Christians were recruiting them to fight against the Muslims that were jamming them up. But Prester John didn't choose no side between Christian and Muslim, man. All right, we ride alone, man. You know what I'm saying? We surf the wave, man. Pope Alexander III conceived the hope that a useful ally could be found in this priest king who would support and uphold the Christian dominion in Asia. He accordingly dispatched the physician Philip on a mission to this mysterious potentate to secure his help against the Mohammedans. Prester John was fighting against the Mohammedans. That's why we cannot be from the Mohammedan tribes today, Managa. The envoy never returned. So whoever the Christians sent to go get Prester John's help never returned. Now check it here. Benjamin is one of the very few writers of the Middle Ages who gives us an account of these subjects of Prester John. They were no other than the infidels. Uh-oh. The sons of Goose, right? Goes on. Also is mentioned as Guzana. Guzana. Now goes on as a river. The river Gazna. Gazan is, as it said, the river Gazna. And Habar is Kabur. Kabur. Gozan is Guzana. The river Gazan and the cities of Medes. The Medes are found in Khorasan. So there's something real special about this Gazan situation, which is just the Guzani or Gazna. Sound like the Gaza Strip a little bit. Mm-hmm. And the Gozan is mentioned as Guzana. But check this out. They were no, look, so we're connecting Prester John again with this Kofar al Tariq, saying is this the same kafir that the Dajjal in Islam is supposed to have this kafir, which they said means infidel, right? Hold up, man. Hold up, man. Managa, infidel. This is from the Islam infolink Islam. All right. The Dajjal, this is their Antichrist, is sometimes said to have the word infidel, which is kafir, written in between his eyes, possibly on his forehead, but this word will only be perceptible to true Muslims, no one else, right? True Muslims, huh? Dajjal is blind in one eye. There is written between his eyes the words kafir, or unbeliever, which is also infidel. What else is it? Oh, kafir is also a racial slur to refer to black Africans or black people. Equivalent of the word Negro. So you see the game they're playing in our religious sources, Managa? The kafir is the black man, is the black woman. The kafir is the infidel. And the infidel are the sons of Guz or the Kofir al-Tarak. The Kafir is the Kofir, Managa. Infidel is the Kafir, is the infidel. Infidel, they were no other than the infidels, the sons of Guz, or Gozan, or Gazna, the Kofir al-Tarek, which they call the wild flat nose. Sound like some nigga stuff, right? Mongol, which means great one. So the great flat nose hordes from Tartary. Here we go again. Tartary, hell, right? Who's the king of the Tartars again? Prester John. What does Prester John have to do with the Kofir al Tariq? Oh, they say they worshiped the wind and lived in the wilderness. Oh, we're talking about the nomads? Wow, so this is a major body bag, man. Sons of Guz are the Kofar. The Kofar are who they call infidels. And who they're calling the infidels. Infidels are who they're calling the unbelievers or kafar. Kafir is also the same name as the Negro. Who's the Antichrist? Who's their Dajjal? Oh, okay. Okay. Their Dajjal will have this infidel written in between his eye bones, man, which they say just means infidel. Or does kafir connect directly to the kofir al-Tariq, which lost pride, lost tribes in promised land? The kofir al-Tariq were purportedly had a relationship with some of the lost tribes and resembles that of Prester John or King David or the tribes of Moses. These are the tribes that were whooping up on the Sultan ass, whooping up on the Mohammedan's ass, whooping up on the Persian ass, man. Whooping up on Muslim ass, man. Whooping up on anything other than what was the pure water flowing in the tribe. And these lost tribes that resemble Prester John are the kafir, the kofir, the kafir that has been turned into a slang word, racial slur for blacks, black people. And the kafir is only the kofir, kafar, the infidels, right? I mean, damn, man, I can't make this shit up. The infidels come, the kafir, the infidels. It's exactly what is being called here, my nigga. Infidels. And they're sons of Guz. Yeah, let's go. Masterpieces of Hebrew literature selections from 2,000 years by Kurt Leviant. And we're talking about the connection with the Hebrews and the Kofir. I know that you are stronger than I am in this place, and my army has come out in the great wilderness, starving and thirst. Deal kindly with me and do not fight it against me, but leave me to engage with the Kofir al-Tariq, my enemy, and sell me also the provisions which I require for myself and my army. The Jews then took counsel together and resolved to perpetuate the king on account of the Jews who were in exile, Sambatyon, in his empire. Then the king entered their land with his army, stayed there 15 days, and they showed him much honor and sent a dispatch to the Kofir al-Tariq, their allies. Whose allies? The Jews. Prester John. Kafir becomes Kofir. Infidels, non-believers in what? In being hijacked? The Kofir al Tariq army was victorious and slew many of the Persians, man. So the Kofir was slaying many of the Mohammedans and the Persians, man, and that made them become the Antichrist, the anti-Muhammad, the anti-Mohammedans. This is what the Kofir, this is what the Negro is to them. This is what the certain breed of Israelite is to them. The anti their whole structure. It's their infidel. It's their Dajjal. It's their non-believer. It's their anti. Their anointed. It's the Kofar who was victorious all throughout the deserts, man. And these are these armies of Hindu Kush. It's the same people. And who was ruling the Hindu Kush for 40 years? Moshe, my nigga. Let's go for the dismount. We just popping off. Hindu Kush, right? Uh-oh. The Kafir. Exceptionally interesting people. Their name means infidel, huh? Just like Kofir. Non-Muslim. Got it. They're non-Muslims, Naga. Black, Kalisha, Kati, Katai. The Kafir inhabited a much larger area of the Hindu Kush. And I gotta ask you, who's the king of Kush for 40 years? 40 years. 40 years. Who's the king of Kush for 40 years? They say Kush is slang for Ethiopian weed, huh? Uh-huh. Ethiopian weed, huh? Ethiopian weed, huh? What does Kush have to do with Ethiopia? Everything. Wonderful Ethiopians of the ancient Kushite Empire. I'm just showing you, you know what I'm saying, where to start digging, my noggin. Even the name Hindu is Ethiopian. Ka. So you talk Hindu, when you talk Kush, when you talk Kushites, you're talking Ethiopia, which means you're talking what? Abyssinia. Older name for Ethiopia, which means you're talking who? The Emperor of Abyssinios. Hindu Kush, huh? Kafir. Kafir. Kofir al Tarak, huh? King of Kush for 40 years? I mean, the truth sounds stranger than fiction.
And the king and princes and all the fighting men loved Moses, for he was great and worthy. His stature was like a noble lion, his face was like the sun, and his strength was like that of a lion, and he was counselor to the king. And at the end of 9 years Kikianus was seized with a mortal disease, and his illness prevailed over him, and he died on the 7th day. So his servants embalmed him and carried him and buried him opposite the city gate to the north of the land of Egypt.
Okay. Matter of fact, let's get it like this. Because, they...
Work. Still, his anger did not turn from them.
Yeah. They got their ass, I ain't trying to deal with a bunch of ass. Let's just get it like this. I just want you to see, my knock, that Moshe is the king of Kush. King of Kush for 40 years. Let's get it out the book of Jasher. We're going to pop it off right here in, 72. Wow. Book of Jashar, Yashar, chapter 72. This is kind of, see what we got here, man. And it was in those days that there was a great war between the children of Cush and the children of the east and Aram. And they rebelled against the king of Cush and those in whose hands they were. Now, who's Aram? These are all becoming, just a lot of fun, man, to dig on this stuff with a fresh perspective. It reminded me a lot of Amram, Moses' pops, you know what I'm saying? And we know that we're talking about Aram, a son of Shem. But a lot of interesting things happen, right quick when you look at this Aram genealogy, man. All right, so you got Aram, son of Shem, and the father of Uz. Remember I was talking about the Guz, right? Ghuz or Gozan, right? The father of Uz, Hol, Gather, and Mesh or Meshesh. Now, all this time we've been digging, and Josephus likes to put Meshech in the genealogy of Japheth. Meshech, Moshach, all Moshashini popping up in Japheth, but there's two Meshechs, man. And this is big because we've been digging on the Meshech situation, the Meshech, Mosach the founder, right? So just know that when you're talking Aram, let's look at it like this. Shem, all right. Aram, right here. Now, he's the father, they say, of Uz, Hol, Gather, and Meshech. Now, what happens to their genealogy? What happens to Uz has no children, Hol has no children, Gather has no, Meshech has no children? This is mighty fishy, my knocker, that the lineage just cuts off suddenly when we go down this path, my knocker. So Shem got a Meshech. Man, love to Graham Hancock, man. He always got some drop, but I don't agree with all of his drop either, man, because he kind of throws stuff around. But even here, it says in the Bible, Japheth is ascribed 7 sons: Gomer, Magog, Tiras, Javan, Meshech, Tubal, and Madai. So you're telling me that they're putting Japheth and Meshech together when Meshech is under Shem? Are you telling me we got to choose our Meshechs, man? We got a Meshech under Shem, under Aram. And you telling us we got a Meshech under Japheth? Spelled the exact same way, right? Meshech. Meshech, my nigga. This is very fishy, man. What did Josephus say? And the wisdom or the this is which chapter is this? This is book 1, the Antiquities of the Jews. All right, chapter 6. Just jumping right in and right in there. He gives the genealogy. We're going right in. All right. Thobal founded the Thobalites, which are now the Eberies, and the Moshashini were founded by Mosak, which is also Meshsek, right? Because what did Grant Hancock break down? The barbarous people from whom Sajastan and Perseus refers are the Phoenician slave caste of Tyrus, Tubal, and Meshech. We find them in the Americas. Huh? Yeah. We find Meshech in the Americas under basically the same name. For example, Mexica, Mexicans. So these are all the different names of Mosak or Meshech, are just the descendants of the Phoenician slave caste or the Hebrews, my nugget. The following are some ancient names of the Meshech Phoenicians, right? So you got Meshech here, and here you got the Mosak, my nugget. Or Moski, like Moscow. Back to the Meshechs, Mazaka, you know what I'm saying? Mexico, right? Meshech is Mosak, my nugget. So when Josephus says Mosak, he also means Meshech. And this is why they are putting him in the, Japheth, right? Now called the Cappadocians, there is a mark, right? So we talked about the mark of Cain, but we also got this mark of an ancient denomination. Still to be showed, what, in the end days? For there is even now among them a city called Mazaka, which may inform those that are able to understand. Why are you playing us, Josephus? What do you mean? Is this some type of a wild goose chase, man? That's some. So he says this Meshech or Mosak. Remember Mosak, Moses, Mosak the founder, tribes of Moses. We got all that. Kofar al Tarak, all right. Ancient mark, cross, mark on their ancient denomination, ancient. That's still to be showed. So it hasn't happened yet. There's even a city called Mazaka for those that are able to understand. So you got to break the spell that so was the entire nation once called. The entire nation was once named after Moses or Mosak. The entire nation was once named after Mazaka or Mosak or Meshech. Mosak, Meshech. But there's two Meshechs. There's a Japheth Meshech, and Managa, there's even Shem. Is this what Josephus is hinting at? For those that are able to understand, why is it that they cut off? I started going, man, just for fun, look up who are the sons of Uz? Who are the sons of Ho? Who are the sons of Gether? Who are the sons of Meshech? It runs out of genealogy very conveniently, Managa. Suddenly, there's no trace of it, right? But to Josephus, there is still a mark for those that are able to understand. So was the entire nation once called what? After Mosak? I mean, how did that correlate to the Mosak the founder drop? Pull up all these links. And remember, all this drop is available on the map packs by Naga. These are the ether bands, the ether packs, the ether bands, and the ether packs. Click the link below. Get the drop. Everybody get the drop. Support the flow. Founder of the Cappadocians, right? Ain't he say something about the Cappadocians? Now they are called the Cappadocians. Well, who's the founder of the Cappadocian? Back to the Moses flow. Back to the Mossack flow. Let's just get it from right here. So when he mentioned Mazaka, right, we're talking Cappadocia, right? When he mentioned Mazaka, the original name for the city that eventually became Khazaria, he noted that this name was derived from Mosak, Meshech, Moses, the founder of the Cappadocians. Mosak's name should suggest some sort of Shemitic derivation. Shemitic, Shem, Mosak, not Japheth, Shem, Mosak. So this Mosak, his name suggests Shemitic derivation, and his reputation as the founder of the Cappadocians seems to hint at a foundational legend for the region that was older than the adoption of Greek myths, man. So this legend, foundation of Moses, Meshech, who they conveniently cut off in genealogy, Managa, is that's older than all this Greek stuff, Greek myths. Now we act like the Greek history, some old history, man. This is older than that. They're getting it from us. In the early Roman Empire, people outside of Cappadocia had heard of Mossack too. The Jewish historian Josephus even tried to fit him into biblical genealogies. Josephus tried to fit him in. What did he do? He just threw him in. There's a mark on this ancient denomination, still to be showed, still to be showed. For those that are able to understand, he's trying his best to give you a hint. He tried to fit him in. Josephus tried to fit him in the biblical genealogies by equating him with Meshech, one of the grandsons of Noah. Oh nah, he didn't. He didn't give us this. He didn't give us this Meshech. He gave us the Josephus Meshech. I mean the Japheth Meshech. You see how the trickery, just like he flipped the Sambatyon, he's flipping the Meshechs. But he's letting you know, if you're able to understand, that the entire nation was once named after this great man, Moses, Mosak. Mosak, Meshech, Moses is an intriguing primal ancestor. He unfortunately remains completely obscure because they flipped it and they changed the name of the city's name of Mazaka. What happened? Philostratus, in fact, knew so little about the legend that he could not match up the consonants and the vowels in order to make sense of the postulated link between the city's name of Mazaka and Mosak's name. So he shrugged and invented a makeshift phonetic transfer. After the passage of time, the city was called Mazaka through a swerving. They changed the name so you wouldn't connect to the biblical Meshech. And if there's no genealogy after this, then you have to wonder where this really fits in, and how the Fountain of Youth plays, and how the Sambatyon River plays. Is Amram, Moses' pops? Amram is Moses' dad. Meshech has Aram. Rambam, Moses' Maimonides. Rambam. I mean, come on, man. Hidden history. No more genealogy. Ancient denomination. Still to be shown. Mossad. They changed it through a swerving. In the latter Roman Empire, all that survived of whatever legend there may have been about Mossack Meshech were his name, reputation, and his enigmatic connection with the name of the city. Well, how can his reputation survive if he's obscure unless we're just talking Moses? How could Meshech's name survive if it's obscure unless we're talking Moses? And they don't know his connection with the city. The myth of Mossack, the founder, was a lost memory, a fragment of an abandoned past, Manage, a casualty of the adoption of Greek mythology, imposition of Roman rule, and the expansion of Christianity. Is why you don't have the memory, just the fragment of an abandoned past, which is the foundational legend. In a society that defined itself in terms of Greekness, Romanness, and Christianity, Moses, the founder, Mossack Meshech, had become meaningless. Ain't nobody checking for Moshe. Ain't nobody checking for Mossack, the founder. The original name of the city had been Mazaka, somehow derived from the name of the Mossack, somehow derived from Mossack, somehow derived from Mossack, huh? Come on, man. Come on, man. What's it say right here? Realizing the entire past was relevant for interpreting the present, he preferred to mention Mossack, the founder, and Mazaka, who, Philostrosius Philo, loved the Templar. He still was rocking with the Mossack, the region's original founder and the city's original name. Even if the shards of their memories left him puzzled about the connections rather than wanting to forget old legends about Cappadocia, Philostrosius struggled to recollect and record them. He was still trying to remember the past, to remember Moshe, to remember Meshech. This is what we're talking about. Are we beginning to see clearly? Are we beginning to see clearly? So, let's read this on out. Best dismount of all time, man. So we're just talking the king of Kush, man. How did Moses become the king of Kush, man? So, you had this Kilkianis, who was the king of Kush. Before that, it says, in those days, a great war between the children of Kush and the children of the east and Aram. And we know that Aram's son, right, is Meshech, right? So Kilkianis, king of Kush, went forth with all the children of Cush, a people numerous as the sand. And he went to fight against Aram and the children of the east to bring them under subjection. And when Kilkianis went out, he left Balaam, the magician, with his two sons to guard the city and the lowest sort of people of the land. So Kilkianis went forth to Aram and the children of the east, and he fought against them and smote them, and they all fell down, wounded before Kilkianis and his people. And he took many of them captives. So Kilkianis went forth to Aram, fought against them, smote them, all right, and he took many captives, okay, and he brought them under subjection. So here we go. Now we're in exile, Managa. Tribes of Moses, let's go. Let me just put the history together, try to see how it overlaps, see how the chronology, overlaps, the fantasy, the duplications, Anatoly Flamenco, the time shifts. And Balaam, the son of Beor, when the king of Cush had left him to guard the city and the poor of the city, he rose up and advised with the people of the land to rebel against the king Kilkianis and not to let him enter the city. So this was this war going on, man. All right. And there was an infighting happening. And, these Cushites, these Hindu Cushites, these Kofars, verse 12. And when Kilkianis, the king of Cush, approached his city and all the captains of the forces with him, they lifted up their eyes and saw that the walls of the city were built up and greatly elevated. So the men were astonished at this. Let's back it up, man. At the fourth corner, verse 10, they collected numerous serpents by their incantations. What kind of serpents? Dragons? Enchantments? And they fortified the city and dwelt therein, and no one went in or out before them. We're just talking about the whole land of Cush. In the third corner, they dug ditches without number between the city and the river which surrounded the whole land of Cush. And they made the waters of the river burst forth there. So we got rivers popping off, man. We got exiles popping off, man. Now, how does Moses start tying into this, man? Verse 20. And on the third day, they came up to fight at the side where the serpents were, but they could not approach there, for the serpents slew them. The dragon slew them, 170 men, and they ceased fighting against Cush, and they besieged Cush for 9 years. No person came in or out. So, you know what I'm saying? Cush was in a, a sad state of disregard, my naga. Like, you know, they were being surrounded, sieged for 9 years. At that time that the war and the siege were against Cush, Moses fled from Egypt from Pharaoh, who sought to kill him for having slain the Egyptians. So here comes Moshe. He's leaving Egypt, slays the Egyptian. Moses was 18 years old when he fled from Egypt, from the presence of Pharaoh, and he fled and escaped to the camp of Kilkianis, which at the time was besieging Cush. Moshe was 9 years in the camp of Kilkianis, king of Cush. All that time that they were besieging Cush, and Moses went out and came in with them. And the king and princes and all the fighting men loved Moshe, for he was great and worthy. His stature was like a noble lion. His face was like the sun, and his strength was like that of a lion. And he was a counselor to the king. And at that end of 9 years, Kilkianis was seized with a mortal disease, and his illness prevailed over him, and he died on the seventh day. So his servants embalmed him, carried him, and buried him opposite the city gate to the north of the land of Egypt. And they built over him an elegant, strong, and high building, and they placed great stones below, and the king's scribes engraved upon these stones all the might of the king of Kilkianis. Verse 30, so they said to one another, give us counsel that we are to do the same, as we have resided in the wilderness 9 years away from our homes. And if we stay, if we fight against the city, many of us will fall wounded or killed. And if we remain here in the siege, we also die. For now all the kings of Aram and the children of the east will hear that our king is dead. They will attack us suddenly in a hostile manner. All right, so they was tripping. They didn't know what to do. So what did they say next? Skip down to 38. And all the people of Cush issued a proclamation on that day, saying, every man must give something to Moses of what is in his possession. Why? Verse 34. And they wished to choose on that day a man for king from any army of Kilkianis, and they found no object of their choice like Moses to reign over them. So they went and selected Moshe over all the Cushites to be their leader, the highest magi, right? And they hastened and stripped off each man his garment and cast them into the ground, and they made a great heap and placed Moses therein, and they rose up and blew the trumpets. So they did the whole thing. May the king live, may the king live, Manak. Moshe is now reigning king of Cush. And all the people and nobles swore unto him and gave him for a wife Adoniah, the queen, the Cushite, wife of Kilkianis. But he never touched her. And then she ended up, forcing him out of his office because she said he never touched her. And they gave him an honorable discharge. But at this time, they made Moses king over them on that day. And that's how Moses became king of Cush. So then he got hooked up, and this is on that day. In the place of Kilkianis, king of Cush, Moses reigned over the children of Cush. And then chapter 73 picks up. Moses was 27 years old when he began to reign over Cush, and 40 years did he reign. So Moses was king of Cush for 40 years, according to the book of Jasher, chapter 73. And Hawa granted Moses favor and grace in the eyes of all the children of Cush, and the children of Cush loved him. So Moses was favored by Hawa. And who's Cush? We're just talking Ethiopia. Who's Ethiopia? We're just talking Abyssinia, which brings us right back to the lost tribes of Promised Land. And we're just asking, who are the tribes of Moses? There's also the tribe of Moses, our just master, called the tribe of Giannis because they flee from idol worship. And then we go into the Sambatyon. So the tribes of Moses, or the Meshech, that's being cut off, literally right out of genealogy. All this plays right now. All this is playing right now, man. The Mosheks, the Mesheks, the Mazakas. Let's get a little bit more of this. So the Cushites loved Moshe. The seventh day of his reign, all the children of Cush assembled and came before Moses and bowed down to him to the ground. And the children spoke together in the presence of the king, saying, Give us counsel that we may see what is to be done in this city. For it is now 9 years that we have been besieged round about the city and have not seen our children and our wives. And as you read this, man, you know what I'm saying? You're going to see that they they go to war, Managa. And we will rise up and fight against the city at the place where the serpents are. And all the people did as the king had ordered. So, you know what I mean? Now they're going to war. They are the sorcerers and magicians who are mentioned in the book of the law. Who? You talking about Balaam, the magician? Okay. Open the gate. He and his 2 sons and 8 brothers fled and returned to Egypt, to Pharaoh, king of Egypt. They are the sorcerers and magicians that are mentioned in the book of the law, standing against Moses when Hawa brought the plagues upon Egypt. So these 2 sons and 8 brothers, these were the ones that, we pick up in the KJV, where they're trying to mimic these, miracles, turning the water, into blood and all this stuff like this, these plagues. And Moses took the city by his wisdom. So Mama was rocking with Moshe. And if we skip down a little bit into, let's just go down a couple chapters. And this 77, is a beautiful dismount because it, as Moses gets his honorable discharge, he's then put in a dungeon for 10 years by Jethro Reuel. Only Zippor is checking for him. We got that before. Ain't nobody checking for Moshe. Then you got Adikam, this pharaoh in Egypt, during this time of hard captivity. In the 206th year of Israel's going down to Egypt, did Adikam reign over Egypt, but he continued not long in his reign over Egypt as his fathers had done. Let's get it from right here. So Moses was confined in the dungeon of the house of Reuel, who is Jethro, for how many years? 10 years, my naga. So 40 years he's king of Kush. He gets an honorable discharge, gets thrown in a dungeon for 10 years. Then he gets out. Then he gets out to free Israel. Zipporah said to her father, no person inquires or seeks after the Hebrew man. Nobody's checking for Moses the whole time. He left him for dead. But she told him, look, man, let me check on him. And there he was, man. And behold, Moses was living in the dungeon, standing upon his feet, praising Hawah of his ancestors. And Reuel commanded Moshe to be brought out of the dungeon. My naga, you got the drop, and what happens next? Moses goes into this garden, and what does he see? And while he prayed, he looked opposite to him, and behold, a sapphire stick. So we just got before about this green knight. Remember the very top? And what happened with this green knight? This green knight got the scepter, right? This Prester John, right? This green knight, this green king, he ruled with a fabulous emerald scepter. Emerald scepter. Well, what are we saying right here in Jeshar, man? For the dismount. Behold a sapphire stick. So we got an emerald scepter and a sapphire stick, my naga, placed in the ground, just like King Arthur and the Excalibur sword. Who's going to pluck it out? Let's go. Which was planted in the midst of the garden. And he approached the stick, and he looked, and behold, the name of Hawah was engraved thereon, written and developed on that stick. And he read it and stretched forth his hand, and he plucked it like a forest tree from the thicket, and the stick was in his hand. So he plucked it out the ground. And this stick, this scepter, was with all the works our Hawah were performed. This is the stick with which all the works of Hawah were performed. After he had created the heaven and earth and all the host of them, seas, rivers, and all their fish. So this same staff, the same sapphire staff, is what was used in the beginning of creation, my naga. Where is it today? And when Hawah had driven Adam from the Garden of Eden, he took the stick, this sapphire staff, emerald scepter in his hand, and went and tilled the ground from which he was taken. So Adam has the staff, and then the stick came down to Noah. So Noah got the staff, and then Shem got the staff until it came into Abraham, my naga. And then Abraham gave it to Isaac and Jacob. And when Jacob had fled to Aram, right? I can't make this up. Aram, Meshach, Moshe. We're just talking Moses, right? Let's go. Aram. He took it in his hand, and when he returned to his father, he had not left it behind. So Jacob had the staff. I mean, it's all happening. And also there, when he went down to Egypt, he took it in his hand and gave it to Joseph. So Joseph got the staff. One portion above his brother, for his brethren, for Jacob had taken it by force from Esau. So did he just jack Esau, or did Esau not want to give it up when he lost his birthright? Did he want to hold on to that staff, and Jacob had to take it by force? And that's why Jacob was a little shaky about seeing Esau again. And after the death of Joseph, the nobles of Egypt came into the house of Joseph, and they took the emerald staff, the sapphire stick, came into the hand of Reuel, Jethro, right, the Midianite, and then that's when he planted it in his garden. And all the mighty men of the Kenites, or the Midianites, or the Canaanites tried to pluck it when they endeavored to get Zipporah. So in order to get his daughter, they had to have the juice. They had to be able to pluck out the staff, but nobody can do it. They were unsuccessful. So that staff remained planted in the garden until he came who had a right to it. So there's no way Jacob could have had it by force if he didn't have a right to it, my noggin. And when Ra'uel saw the stick in the hand of Moshe. He wondered at it, and he gave him his daughter Zipporah. And that's how he got Zipporah as a wife. And that's the path of the staff and the story of how Moshe became king of Cush, my man. Yeah, man, we talking king of Cush, Moshe. Who is Prester John? King of Abyssinia, king of Ethiopia, or we're just talking about the king of Cush? Even the Hindu is Ethiopian, my man. Ancient records of authority made Hind and Sind sons of Cush. Whoa. So Hindu is Hind is the sons of Cush. Hindu Kush, Hind is Cush, are the Ethiopians. The Ethiopians are a colony of them. The Ethiopians, the Indi, are the wisest of mankind. The Indi are the wisest of mankind. And they found you where? In India Superior, the wisest of mankind. The Ethiopians are the colony of them, and they inherit the wisdom of their fathers. Who, my noggin, is Prester John? And will we keep searching? We'll search no more, my noggin. We putting all the drop on the Ether Pack. Support the Ether Pack flow. Support the tribe, the Wada for surfing the wave, and Prester John, installment number 57. And together, we are searching for the Sambatyon and the connection. Allah for surfing the wave with me, because I'm surfing the wave with you. Pure water flowing, keep the fire burning. All praise our Creator, ancient head of days. Allah, who is Prester John?